Hey guys, welcome back to Nelly Nummies and welcome to day 4 of our 12 days of Treatsmas. Today's cookie is a classic cookie, Raspberry Thumbprint Cookies. Now these Thumbprint cookies, which are a shortbread cookie filled with a little jam in the middle, you can replace the jam with whatever flavor you want. Today I'm just kind of doing a classic flavor, but feel free to modify to your preference. To start out with our cookies, you're going to need 1 cup of softened butter to room temperature. You're going to need 2/3 cup of white granulated sugar, a teaspoon of vanilla, half a teaspoon of almond extract, half a teaspoon of salt, which helps balance out the sweetness of the cookies, and then 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. And the most important ingredient you're going to need is jam. I made my own jam here by just using a bag of raspberries, some sugar, and a little bit of lemon juice, and then you just cook it. But if you don't feel like making your own, go ahead and buy some store-bought, and that will be perfectly fine as well. But let me bring you guys in closer and we'll get started on making our cookies. Let's start by adding our butter to a medium to large size bowl. Mix in your 2/3 cups of granulated sugar with a whisk or electric mixer and mix until it's light and fluffy. Be sure to scrape down the sides occasionally so that all the butter and sugar gets mixed in. Next, we're going to add in a half teaspoon of salt, teaspoon of vanilla extract, and then half a teaspoon of almond extract, and then we're going to mix that together until it's fully incorporated into the butter. Then we're going to add in our flour, 2 1/4 cups of flour. I like to mix in 1 cup at a time until everything's fully incorporated. Scrape down the sides, smooth it to a nice smooth surface, and then we're going to cover this with plastic wrap and chill it in the refrigerator for about 1 hour until it's firmed up. While this chills in the refrigerator, let's start on our raspberry jam. Add 12 ounces of fresh or frozen raspberries to a small pot. Add 1 cup of granulated sugar and a good squeeze or 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. And you're going to want to mix this up good over a medium-high heat. And we're going to cook this for about 10 minutes until it's nice and bubbly and starts to thicken. You can mash up the berries with a potato masher like this one or the back of a spoon, just so your jam has a nice smooth consistency. Cook this, stirring frequently until it's nice and thick. To test if your jam is ready, add a dollop of jam to your cold plate that was in the fridge, and if it doesn't slide around and if it gels up nice and thick like this and doesn't move, it's ready. Optionally, you can strain your jam through a fine mesh strainer to help get rid of some of the seeds. Obviously, some of the seeds are still going to seep through, but this is just a nice way to make it a little bit better consistency. Let the jam come to room temp or chill it until it's ready to use. Grab your chilled cookie dough, scoop it into about 1 to 2 tablespoon sized balls, and we're going to roll it into granulated sugar. This is only about half a cup of sugar, and place it on your cookie sheet. And repeat the process with all your dough, spacing your dough balls about 2 inches apart. Then we're going to take our thumb, press it into the cookie, sealing up any cracks that might form. You could also use the back of a teaspoon and press that into the cookie to make your dent, whatever works for you. Then fill each indent with a dollop of jam, about half a teaspoon to a teaspoon worth, and you repeat this process with all of your cookies. Then we will bake these for 350 degrees for 13 to 14 minutes. And here we are. We have our Raspberry Thumbprint cookies all baked and cooled and ready to nibble on. These are relatively simple to put together. A little tricky with getting the thumbprint in there sometimes if the dough's a little stiff, but still turns out very nummy, even if they're a little cracked, but that's okay. Still gonna taste good. Speaking of which, let's have a nibble. So, we have a nice crunchy shortbread cookie that's all nice and buttery and sweet, thanks to that little extra sugar rolled on the outside. But then the raspberry jam there tops it off and makes it perfect with that little bit of tartness. And these are one of my many favorites during the holidays. These, along with the molasses cookies that we made already, and the Twix, these go pretty quickly too when I give them out to my family. But I hope you guys have fun making these. They're pretty simple to make and they're nice little classic. And super crumbly. Feel free to get a little funky with it. Change up the jam to whatever you like. I've also seen people use lemon curd or some sort of citrus curd as well. Go ahead and try that, see how it turns out. But I hope you guys have fun. I hope you enjoy them. And remember, please be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and I look forward to cooking with you on day 5 of our 12 days of Treatsmas. Bye guys!